Hello friends. Well, I haven't posted in a couple of weeks. I've been super busy, had company and all kinds of things, which I'm very grateful for. But today is my 73rd birthday, and I wanted to share a little gift that I got. And by the way, I can turn those two numbers around and just be 37, just FYI. But anyway, I'm Nancy from Simply Quilting. And I love my Stripology rulers. I have a couple of smaller ones, and then I have this 12-inch one. But I wanted the XL, the larger one, and forgot to put it on my Christmas list. But I remembered to put it on my birthday list. So here it is. My hubby got it for me for my birthday. And so I thought I would try it out and share it with you today. Now, this one is 12.5 inches wide, so I can cut up to that amount and then I'll have to move it over. This one will cut up to 20 inches, so I can get a few more cuts out of this than I could out of the smaller one. I'll still be using that one, but when I have a lot to do or a long piece to do, I'll probably use this one. Now, one thing I haven't said before that I like about the Stripology ruler, and I'm not sponsored, I just want to share. The little stars at the bottom, those all represent, if you just cut on wherever there's a little star, that's 1.5 inches. If you cut where there is a square, that's going to be 2.5 inch cuts. And then, of course, those are the only ones that are actually marked by a little symbol, but you can count up on the rest of them. But if you're in a hurry, that'll save you some work, I think. So anyway, I thought I would try this one out today. I've shown my bins before that I put my strips in when I cut those. I cut them in 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, and 7.5 inch strips. This is my 5.5 inch bin, and it is not as full as the others. So I thought I would find my fabrics that are less than 1 yard, a few of them. Actually, I've only got a few left because I've cut a lot of them. But I don't have as many low volumes. This is all the low volumes I have compared to all of these that are not low volume. I guess that could be considered low volume, but I have it in the novelty stack with a lot of other novelty prints. So I found a few that are low volume, and I'm going to cut those first, and then I found a few that are other than low volume, and so I'll see how full my bin gets before I stop. Alright, so let's get started on this little endeavor. My long arm frame as a shelf when I'm not long arming. So I found 3 what I call low volume. That's about a half a yard. And this one is 21 inches. This is my largest one. And that's that's actually a little more than a yard, but I'm going to go ahead and use it anyway. It's one someone gave me, I think. Or I might have picked it up somewhere. Anyway, I'll cut the smaller ones first, and then I'll come back and get that one done. So this is a nice, pretty nice piece here. Get some low volume from, I think. So I'm putting my zero cutting line just about 1/4 inch inside to make sure I have a nice smooth starting point. And then I want to come up to 5.5 and then to 11. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 and then 16.5, I believe. And now I don't have enough over here to make another 5.5, but let's see, what can I make? 1, 2, make a 2.5. That's where most of my smaller strips come from, is from leftovers. I'm cutting the larger ones. So here are my 5.5-inch strips. And oh, this is not a 2.5. Let me see. This is a 3.5. That's fine. I'll make a 3.5-inch stack right there. This will make a low volume to go in my bin. Okay, I have one more low volume, which I love this one. I think it is so pretty. My table is almost not big enough because I have my Accuquilt cutter on one side of it. Okay, let's see. Oh, I gotta get it the right way. Here we go. Once I get my strips made, they fit certain sizes of my Accuquilt dies. And then when I get ready to make something from Accuquilt, I just pull out the right size of strips for that die. Alright, let's see, 5.5, 11, 16.5. Now I'll have to move it again because I've only got 3.5 inches left over there. But still, that's more than I would have had with the 12.5-inch one. I'll put those there. Okay, this time, since I know I have a nice smooth side over here, I'm going to just go ahead and lay that on the 0 cutting line. Okay, 5.5, 11, 16.5. And let's see what we've got left. 1, 2, 3, 3.5. Might even have enough for 4.5 there. 16.5. 17.5. 18.5. 19. I think I'm going to do 1.5-inch strips because I have a project going on right now with my hearts that I can use those for. So I stopped at 16.5. So that would be 18 if I did 1.5. Cut on the stars. I'll have to move it just a little bit more. So I got 6 of these. That's quite a bit, actually. Quite a bit. Those there. That's a 1.5. Let's see how many. Oh, let's do one more. Now I think I can get one more 1.5 from this. That can No, I'm not going to save that. Start to take on my strings, but by the time I sew the seam on both sides, it would only be like a 1/2 inch. So, okay. So in my low volumes, I got some cuttings for 1 1/2, and some for 2 1/2, one for 3 1/2, and then I got 2 sets, and there's a lot of this for my 5 1/2. Okay. So my 5 1/2 goes in my low volume stack right there. I was hoping to have more low volumes than that, but I'll get some more eventually. Now these others are going to go in some of these areas here. I'll keep these out because I may have to cut some more of those sizes. Okay, let's do this turquoise. This is really pretty. I know this came from Hobby Lobby. I used it in a couple of quilts, I think. It's a very good blender. Alright, so we'll start out with our 5 1/2s again. Line this black line up and line the 0 line up. Move this over a little bit so that you don't, you're not cutting exactly on that crooked line. We want to be on straight area. Okay, 5 1/2, 11, 16 1/2. I don't take the selvage off at this point. I'll wait until I need to use them to take the selvage off. That one didn't quite cut in one little area there. Let's see. Now let's see how many more we can get. This time I'll put the 0 line right on the line that I just cut, and the black line on the bottom of the fold. 5 1/2, 11, and let's see, that would be 1 1/2. This would be 2 1/2. Let's see if this is enough to do a 2 1/2. Okay, 2 1/2. And then let's see, we got 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. Very pretty for a blender. Then we have this really pretty dragonfly fabric. To watch myself get off on the wrong thing here. There's my 16 1/2. 1, 1, 2, 3. I'll be able to get a 3.5 out of this. I don't know. Let's see. 16.5. Let's go with a 1.5 to start with. So that's, did I do that right? Let me check. That just didn't cut very well. Must be my blade. Need to change it out, I guess. One thing about these, they don't have to be exactly perfect because I'm going to be using them on a die in my Accuquilt. Unless I decide to make, if I have something big enough to make borders with, I could do that, but these are not going to be enough for that for sure. Now, there's one more of those. So 3 of those. It's really pretty. And let's see, what is this? It looks like 2.5. Yep, that's a 2.5. And is this 1.5? Yes, okay. Now then, I have 2 more. This helps to clean out my bins that I store under my long arm. If they get down to under a yard, then it's better for me just to go ahead and cut them into strips. I haven't quite figured out these other ones on the bottom. I think they're like in, it says 12, 11.5, 10.5. I'll have to, oh, those are for trimming your squaring your blocks up. That's what those are for. Yeah. Which I've used my other one for that a lot. Okay. Definitely need to change my blade before I try this again. Right, there's 3 of those. Let's see, I know I can get 2 more. Okay, and then I can get a 1.5 at the end. I'm sorry about this. Okay. Here's my 1.5. And 5 of these. It's not too bad. Alright, one more piece. So I can only gonna have one 3.5 inch. I could cut that into two 1.5s. Keep from having to get my other 3.5 inch bin out. Might just do that. So I have to get the 1.5 out anyways. This is kind of pretty, and it could work as a low volume, I guess. I'm trying to bear down a little bit harder at the beginning so that I don't have to cut it apart. Alright, 5.5, 11, so that's two more of those, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 left. So I think I'll go with 1.5. So I'm going to take these out so I don't mess them up, since I've already scooched it around. I like to have more than one of the same, because if I'm cutting out an Accuquilt block, I want to make sure I have enough of one thing to do what I need to do. Okay. I don't really have enough for 3 1.5s. Here's a 3.5. I'll do a 3.5. No, I'll do 1.5s. So I can have more than one piece. 1.5 and 3. And then the last one I'll just use as a string, because the edge of it is not smooth enough to get another 1.5. But I do want to straighten it up even as a string, because it's, as you can see, it's got a jagged edge, and it's easier to stitch them together if they are nice and smooth and straight and even. So let's see what I can do here. The biggest piece I can get is going to be 1 inch. Are you kidding me? Okay, let's see. I don't like to get them that small, but put it in my strings, I guess, and see if it comes in handy at some point. Oh, that's all. Get them all done. This is really pretty. Okay, my bucket, or my bin, is quite a bit fuller than it was. I don't know where to put this one. I'm going to put it in the low volume. There we are. It's coming up. Darks, more kind of browns. I've got 1 red in there. Blues and greens, I've got a lot of those. Novelties, dogs, cats, churches, American stuff, all kinds of stuff there. And then, of course, my low volumes. All of those. Alright, that's it for today. I only got one of these. I think I'm going to go ahead and make this into 1 1/2 because I've got these 2 1/2 and these 1 1/2. That way I can just pull out my 1 1/2 and 2 1/2 and not pull out my 3 1/2. Let me go ahead and switch this over to a 1 1/2. I can get 2 of them out of it. And 3, and I see right there I got off on that one, so I'm going to go ahead and fix it. Look at me. All right. I'll get these all filed in my 1 1/2 to 2 1/2 bins. So this is all I had for today, and I hope to get back on my heart blocks and show you those really soon. This is Nancy with Simply Quilting signing off. Thanks for watching.